Valentine's Day, it's Day for Love. And every day is a day for love. Love in you and love to be shared with others. Love in creation, in all things. It's funny, we talk about love in church all the time. It's our thing, kind of, because it's Jesus' thing. One of many, and this is where we start to lose it, is we usually, when we want to talk about love in church, we start out by being clear about what we're not talking about, right? And we divide love up, usually using those Greek terms, so we want to be sure that we're not talking about physical love or romance. We're definitely not talking about sex. We're so not talking about that, unless we totally are talking about that, because we're doing that thing that we're famous for and judging people and their morals. But we're not talking about that. We're also not talking about brotherly love, sisterly love, sibling love, family love, that kind of communal sense of love. We're not talking about that either. We're talking about agape is the Greek word that we use. We're talking about the universal, all-encompassing love of God that's unconditional. And hang on a minute. You just said it was universal and all-encompassing right after you said it's not those other things. So let's be clear. It totally is those other things. You can't say the love of God is an all-encompassing universal love that's unconditional and giving, and then not include all those other things. In fact, probably separating out those things like that is part of our problem. It does include all those things. The thing is, it has to begin with the love part before it gets to all of the other stuff, right? So when we talk about eros, the physical love, the erotic love, we're talking about the love. We're talking about love. We're not talking about sort of the simple sort of physical gratification, however you want to describe that part. We're talking about love. And when we talk about sibling or familial love, we're not simply talking about the fact that we're related. We're talking about the love part. The love has to be in it. Well, let me say that differently, because the love is in it. We have to find the love that's in it. And you won't find that love that's in it unless you've already found that love in you. Because it's in you. And it's in you to share with others. But you can't share it with others until you've left yourself. What does that have to do with Transfiguration? It's the Sunday of Transfiguration, Robin. It's the last Sunday of Epiphany. We're about to go into Lent. We've got this great story of Jesus going up and having the mountaintop experience with the disciples, right? Shines like a bright light. Jesus is transfigured. Let's be absolutely clear, not changed. Transfigure isn't transform. Transfigure is he shines with the light that is him, that is his person. And he appears with two prophets, two famous prophets. There's the cloud. The sign of God's presence on the mountain is the cloud, right? The cloud appears and a voice is heard, "This is my son, the beloved. Listen to him." This is all really good stuff. And the disciples, of course, are freaking out over this, but it's all really good stuff, and they cannot wait to get down the mountain and share that with everybody. And then Jesus says, don't tell anybody until after the resurrection. What? Why? Why not tell everyone now? Everyone would be so impressed and they'd be so amazed at your superpowers. You are God. And I have a feeling Jesus then immediately went, exactly. This moment of revealing is about revealing what's truly Jesus. And what's truly Jesus is what's truly in us too. Love. And now Jesus is going to go down the mountain and share that love even more. But see, I think this was a moment in which Jesus kind of thought, I'm feeling really vulnerable about exposing myself so fully to everyone. I don't mind these guys. These are my closest guys. I'm okay with them knowing about it. I'm okay with them knowing this truth about me. But I'm not sure I want everybody else to know just yet. It's like he's decided this isn't the truest moment of revealing. Because it isn't. The truest moment of Jesus revealing will be the moment in which he does the thing that no one else actually can do. The resurrection. In this moment, what's truly important to Jesus is that people see why the life of Jesus is so important. Because the life of Jesus is the life of you and me. It's a life of showing us that the love that's in us can come out too. That we can share this with other people. We're all shining brightly as Jesus. Well, we would be if we weren't trying so hard to not. And that's just the thing about Jesus. It's not just about showing you how to share your love with others. It's showing you and me how to break down those walls that keep the love inside us and stop us from sharing it with others. Our moment of transfiguration will happen when we realize it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to share our love with others. We're going to start even just like Jesus. And maybe share that vulnerability with close friends, people who have the most intimate connection with us. But it's through those connections that we'll learn how to share with others. It's through those connections that we'll learn taking the risk is okay. It's not always going to be safe. Jesus wasn't safe. Remember that, I don't know if you remember in the Chronicles of Narnia, in C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. If you haven't read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you have to, or this is going to sound like nonsense. But Mr. Beaver is explaining to the kids how Aslan is not safe. That's why he's a lion. And in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the lion, C.S. Lewis wrote it with the intention of showing that the lion is Jesus. Jesus is just like that. He's not safe. Jesus is risky. Jesus is challenging. The real value is seeing how important it is to take the risk. And so here's Jesus beginning. I'm going to share my innermost truth with you guys. Now let's go and show people that they might be able to do that too. Let's show them what sharing love is like. Let's also show them what it's like to realize the love in you that can be shared. It's going to be risky. It's going to be challenging. But it's the way. It's the way that we make connections. It's the way we build relationships. It's the way we make that energy that is love come alive in the world. It's not easy. It's not always going to be like we're on the mountaintop. There's going to be deep valleys. Sure there is. That's the energy of life. But here's Jesus showing truly this is Jesus. He shines with a bright light. He appears with prophets. The voice of God is heard. Now, don't go and tell everybody that. Because what if they do decide that I'm God and start to worship me? What if they don't believe you? Let's just go and show them. The stories aren't enough. We have to live the stories. We have to find our own ways to break down those obstacles, those walls, those barriers that challenge us in allowing the love that is in us to come out. We have to find the ways that we're going to share that love once we have found it. Because we're all unique and individual, right? We all have our own sort of ways of doing things. We all have the things that we're good at. We have to find those ways. What a great time to have that kind of a story right before Lent. Because that's the story of Lent, isn't it? Jesus goes into the wilderness. Sure, we tell this story about how Jesus goes into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. But that's not actually, well, we're going to talk about that next week. It's not actually what happens, is it? Jesus goes into the wilderness with the Spirit to find himself, to figure out how he's going to take himself into ministry. That's why we've made Lent a time for self-examination, for retrospection, for introspection, for wondering about ourselves and our relationship with God and each other. That's what Lent is about. And so here we are. Look into yourself. Find the love that is in you and figure out the ways to share that with others. We've got a whole season for it. But here we are again, right? Here we are again with that whole thing of, well, we've got a season for it and then it's over. Just like we've got a day for love and then it's over. Every day is a day for love. Every day is a day for wondering about our relationships with each other and with God. Every day is a day for loving ourselves and loving the world. Every day.